The morning sun poured golden light across the sprawling mansion that rose like a fortress of wealth and prestige. To anyone passing by, it was perfection carved in stone-polished marble steps, gardens cut to flawless symmetry, fountains leaping joyfully in the courtyard. But behind this polished exterior, a storm was quietly brewing, one that would shake the life of a man who thought he had everything. Adrian, a self-made millionaire, believed fortune had finally smiled on him. He had the company he had dreamed of, the lifestyle he once only imagined, and beside him, the woman he thought he would marry. Yet one unexpected moment would expose a truth he had overlooked, a truth money could never disguise. Adrian stepped out into the courtyard, still carrying the weight of a long business meeting, eager to see his fiancée, Celine. With her striking beauty and magazine-like elegance, she was the kind of woman who could steal attention just by walking into a room. Adrian adored her charm and sophistication, convinced she was not only beautiful, but also the right partner for his future. As he imagined their wedding day, a sharp sound cut through the air. Celine's laughter. But it wasn't warm, it was cold, harsh, like a whip. Curious, Adrian followed the sound. The scene froze him in his tracks. Celine stood, tall, her face twisted with superiority, mocking a maid who struggled to carry a heavy bag of garbage across the stone path. The maid, Clara, a hard-working widow and mother of two, had been serving in the mansion for years. Life had bent her back with burdens far heavier than trash bags. Quiet, respectful, and diligent, she endured endless hours to provide her children with food and education. But in that moment, she stood humiliated, cheeks flushed red. As Celine ridiculed her, "You should be grateful," Celine sneered. "You're paid to obey. Don't you dare look at me like that. Know your place." The words pierced Adrian like knives. His fiancée, the woman he thought he knew, had stripped another human being of dignity for no reason but pride. Clara lowered her gaze, used to such treatment, perhaps too fearful to respond. For Adrian, the sight opened an old wound. He had not been born into wealth. He was the son of a janitor, raised in a cramped home where every coin was counted and every day was survival. He remembered his mother scrubbing offices late into the night, her hands raw from cleaning chemicals. He remembered the mockery of neighbors, the whispers about her old clothes, the way some employers treated her as if she were invisible. Long ago, he had vowed that if he ever succeeded, he would honor people like her, not tear them down. And now Celine was shattering that vow before his eyes. Slowly, Adrian stepped forward, his footsteps echoing across the marble. Celine's laughter faded when she saw him, though she quickly masked herself with the polished charm she always used to impress him. But it was too late. He had witnessed everything. Without a word, Adrian walked to Clara, gently lifted the heavy bag from her trembling hands, and set it aside, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. He whispered that she should rest. That small gesture carried a message. She was seen. She was worthy. Celine's face hardened, confusion flickering into irritation, but Adrian said nothing more. That single act left the courtyard in silence, yet the storm within him was only beginning. Could he spend his life with someone who valued wealth over humanity, who saw dignity as optional? The more he thought about it, the heavier the answer grew. Over the next few days, Adrian watched Celine more closely. He noticed things he had once ignored: how she barked at the staff, how she dismissed Clara's respectful greetings, how she complained about trivial inconveniences while Clara endured exhausting hours without a word of protest. The contrast grew sharper. Celine entitled and impatient, Clara humble yet strong, and with every passing day, Adrian's heart leaned toward truth. The breaking point came during a quiet lunch in the garden. Adrian had asked Clara to serve them. Celine, dressed flawlessly as usual, seemed annoyed by her presence, making sharp remarks about her appearance and speed. Adrian remained silent until he finally asked a single question. If everything vanished tomorrow, if you had nothing left, how would you treat people around you? Celine's cold laugh cut through the air. If I had nothing, people like her wouldn't even look at me. That's reality. Why pretend otherwise? Adrian's heart sank. Her words confirmed everything he feared. Soon after, the engagement was called off. He didn't make a dramatic announcement, nor did he carry bitterness. Quietly, he gave Celine her freedom and stepped away. Gossip swirled in wealthy circles, but Adrian no longer cared. He had avoided a future where compassion had no place. What left everyone astonished, however, was not that he ended the engagement but what he did next. One afternoon, Adrian called Clara into his study. Her hands were still dusted with flour from baking bread for the staff, and she entered nervously, expecting reprimand. Instead, she received an offer that changed her life. Adrian told her he admired her strength, her dignity, and her dedication. He promised to support her children's education, offering full scholarships. He assured her of fair wages, lighter hours, and above all, respect. Clara's eyes filled with tears. She tried to kneel in gratitude, but Adrian gently lifted her up. "You don't kneel," he said softly. "Not to me, not to anyone. You stand because you are worthy." Word spread quickly. People no longer spoke about Adrian's glamorous fiancé, but about his compassion. Celine faded into obscurity, while Clara's story blossomed into one of hope. Her children thrived, her spirit lifted, and for the first time in years, she walked with her head high, no longer invisible, but valued. Adrian, too, found peace, though heartbreak had been his first companion. He realized he had been spared from a life built on illusions. In its place, he built something far stronger, a home where kindness was the foundation, where respect was not optional, and where every person, regardless of status, was treated as human. As years passed, Clara's children grew into accomplished adults, forever grateful to the man who chose compassion over pride. Adrian never sought recognition. His reward was simple, knowing he had honored his mother's memory, kept his vow, and lived by the truth that real wealth is not measured in money, but in how many lives you uplift along the way. The mansion that once echoed with cold laughter now glowed with warmth, not from chandeliers or gilded walls, but from the quiet dignity of people who knew they mattered. And so, Adrian's greatest treasure was revealed: not power, not riches, but the priceless wealth of kindness.